This is lovely. Thank you so much for letting me wrap up today's symposium. This is Maidens of Middle-earth XI, Valier and Maiar. Oh, I want to turn this heater off. Excuse me. All right, sound should be a little bit better now. All right. So early in the mythology of Middle-earth, the Valar had children, the Valarindi. And as the mythology evolved, these beings became lesser gods and goddesses, the Maiar. Some of them retained their original names while their stations changed. Some were renamed, and others disappeared completely from the pantheon. In the end, there were 7 kings and 7 queens of the Valar, some of them paired with spouses and others single. We recognize the names: Manwë, Varda, Ulmo, Yavanna, Aulë, Mandos, Vairë, Nienna, Lórien, Este, Vána, Oromë, Tulkas, and Nessa. Well, most of these names sound familiar. But now let us make the acquaintance of some of the lesser known Valier and Maiar. Among them, the children of Manwë and Varda, the sister of the Feanturi, the Lady of Rest, the Maya maiden who became a queen of the Valar, and the Sun Maiden. We begin with 2 Maiar, Ilmare, Ilmare and Eonwe. Varda's handmaid, Ilmare, was originally her daughter, and Manwë's herald, Eonwe, was originally his son. But then the son's name was changed to Fionwe, Firehawk, who was the lover of the Sun Maiden, and Eonwe was demoted to squire. Poet James Vitullo gives us a glimpse into the nature of these 2 Maiar as they perform their official duties and as they support one another. Here now, Ilmare and Eonwe, highest among the Maiar. tale the seen and unseen wounds of the war of wrath. As herald of the Valar, Eowyn's voice is unparalleled in its range and clarity, trumpeting the Valar's will. Highest among the Maiar, Ulmo and Eowyn, entwined to hearts bound in bonds of love. One captain of Eowyn's heart, and the other captain of the host. As captain of Eowyn's heart, she drove away his worries and fears and doubts in fulfilling his duties. As captain of the host in the army of Varda, to Morgoth's citadel of Thangorodrim, to throttle its terrible hordes. Together now and always, their burdens lessened in each other's company. Ulmo and Eowyn, healer and warrior, and wise counselors both, to the king and queen of the Valar. We continue now with Nienna, one of the 7 queens, the sister of the Feantori, death goddess, winter one, lady of tears. She was in the early mythology actually the sister of Manwë, the High King, and of Melkor, the Dark Valar. Poet Jane Beale reveals this goddess's kind heart as she teaches the Grey Wizard, named Lórien in the West, and prays for mercy for her dark. After he murders the 2 trees and the elf Finwë, steals the Silmarils, and nearly destroys all of Beleriand and its inhabitants. Her mercy is for everyone. Let us listen to the lamentations of Nienna. Produce the sun and the moon. night sky, like the songs we sang at the beginning, with my endless grief was interwoven with the very foundation of the world. Listen, for I am always listening, I say in a whisper to the one who will be a wizard. Oh, Lórien, my best pupil, dressed in grey, to honor my hoard of grey cloud. It floats across the skies of Varda whenever the rain falls. My mercy is for everyone, even my dark brother Melkor in chains for the 3 ages of his lonely captivity. I know about sorrow and loneliness, so that is why I pleaded in tears for the king of the Valar to pity him. Even my name brings tears when the people sing it. Nienna, the one who weeps, the winter one, the sighing one, qual metari. Even my name brings tears, illuminated and illuminating. We move on now to Este. She is the spouse of Lórien and sister-in-law of Nienna, and her name means rest. Not much else is written of the Grey Lady. Thanks to poet James Vitullo, we may journey through the 4 ages of Middle-earth, observing how Este aids its inhabitants in the face of the pain and suffering of each age. Without her, the world would be a wearier one indeed. Hear now Este, ages of suffering met with ages of respite. Middle-earth to the shores of Aman. Thank the Grey Lady during ages of suffering, ages of respite. In the second age, the shadow of Sauron was pain and suffering. Against the wickedness of Anatar, Este's gifts were carried from the fountains of renewal, and against the cruelty of Gorthor, her caress brought relief in and from the forest of Lórien, and against the wrath wrought by the One Ring's crafting, she grey-veiled healed deep old wounds, and against the greed of our Pharazôn for life eternal, she fostered a clarity in Elendil's leading the faithful. Thank the Grey Lady during ages of suffering, ages of respite. In the third age, the shadow of the One Ring was pain and suffering. Against the wickedness of the lidless eye, Este brought the courage to stand unbowed at times of growing darkness, born of refreshment from fear, and against the cruelty of the Black Riders, she brought the concern and kindness of the Grey Pilgrim, and against the wrath of Smaug, the Golden and Bog, dwarves and elves and men stood shoulder to shoulder, and against the greed of Goronir and Gollum, she fostered fellowship, and from this sorcery feat led the ring to the crack of doom. Thank the Grey Lady during ages of suffering, ages of respite. In the fourth age, the shadow of man was pain and suffering. Against the wickedness of man's own self, Este brought an ease upon his troubles, and against the cruelty of man's own self, she gave a balm of body and soul, and against the wrath of man's own self, she offered inner and outer peace, and against the greed of man's own self, she fostered meaning in calm intention. Thank the Grey Lady during ages of suffering, ages of respite. Without her, the world would be a wearier one indeed, caught in wickedness, cruelty, wrath, and greed. Thank the Grey Lady during ages of suffering, ages of respite. We move now to Nessa, Ever the Maiden. This is my poem. Originally, Amaya, referred to as spouse of Tulkas, the bride, Heart's Ease, which is, Heart's Ease is a wild violet or a pansy. Her eyes were violet. Nessa was relegated throughout much of the mythology to housewifely chores such as bringing wine to the raucous friends that Tulkas brought home for wrestling matches and the like. Granted, he was a blonde giant, stronger than all the other Valar, even Melkor, and useful as a bearer of burdens no one else could carry, such as the fruit of the golden tree for which Aulë made the ship of the sun. But beyond that, Nessa had little use for him. Fortunately, as the mythology developed, she was promoted to a queen of the Valar, one of the seven, and Tulkas was provided with another Maya spouse. We meet Nessa on her wedding day, and so the fun begins.
Dressed all in flowers at the feast of the spring, my violet eyes shining as bright as a bride's. When Este, my first love, he called me such a thing, and asked me to take his hand and stand by his side. Yet why should a valley rely on a spouse like Tulkas that lusty perpetual youth? Despite his great vigor, his strength, and his prowess, he's hardly the Valar I would choose. Why should I be bearer of goblets of wine to boxers and gamers who wrestle and play? I could be a queen of the Valar in time, not merely a Maya, a dancer of fame. So after he'd harvested Lórrien's last fruit, and Aulë constructed the ship of the sun, I'd had quite enough of that muscle-bound brute, and he headed off to Valier the young. No more does it matter the games that he plays, for I have been chosen to be a high dame. I am one of the seven and ever a maid, no longer just the spouse of that headstrong, what's his name?
And we'll close this afternoon with two Maiar, the Sun Maiden and the Man in the Moon. The Sun Maiden, Arian, which means daughter of day, was the only Maya able to bear the heat of the sun. Daily she must conduct it across the heavens in the ship Aulë constructed for that purpose. Thus she is separated from her true love, Fionwe, the Firehawk, son of Manwë. But many others have sued unsuccessfully for her favor. Even Melkor once came too near, and badly burned has feared her ever since. But her most persistent suitor is the steersman of the moon, Tilian, chasing her haplessly around the sky. Poet Edward Risdon lends us a glimpse of their amusing dance. Arian and Tilian.
by the golden flowers of the sun, by the silver flower of the moon. Blessed Arian by day will run, and lovelorn Tilian follows soon. She guides her star to light the world, her eyes ablaze, her heart alight. He tiptoes after smile unfurled, his fingers flexed, his toes curled tight. To win her love, to draw her on, he offered her his greatest prize, the flower of Telperion, to rouse the brightness of her eyes. Most loved on earth of all the Maiar, pursued by lovers fair and fey, she fleet-foot, the maid of fire, brings heat and light that gild the day. When dusk meets night or night meets morn, when one's eclipsed and one forlorn, to perihelion he will chase, aphelion to Denai's embrace. So Tilian sped in love and mirth, once came too near and spun at bay. His blushing face he turned to earth, his sun-scorched bum he turned away. The silver glances of the moon, the golden greetings of the sun, adoring he would pledge his troth, but she is just glad he's not Morgoth.
I'm on in.
Thank you so much, Eileen. Thank you so very, very, very much. Always a wonderful way of concluding our event, the symposium. So thank you so very much.